All right, so this is part two of the big ass blower. All right, so I found something else after digging around in here. Last time we ended this was I had a broken valve. Let's see, yeah, we had a broken valve here, and so I was thinking we just replace that. But after I clean this thing up, look here, you see that? That's cracked right through the head from chamber to chamber. That will not hold compression. There's no way that's going to work. So this head is junk. So I ordered, and it took 2.5 weeks to come. OEM, it says Kohler on. I don't know if this is it says Kohler, but I'm hoping that it's actual OEM and not just some Chinese junk knockoff. Anyway, looks the same. I got to build it. Not a problem. It's got all the components and everything here. You got to put the valves in and do all the fancy stuff there. I don't think I need to lap these. They look pretty shiny. I'm going to check it. I might throw a little lap on there just on the safe side. But I'm going to put this together. It looks pretty good. I mean, from first glance, it's all right. Everything looks like it's the same. I do want to measure the valves compared to this. Make sure that they're all the same size because this was really difficult to find the right part number on. Finally found it. Hope I did. So I'm going to compare it. Everything looks right. Right size, but like I said, I want to check these diameters and also the length of the valves itself. Make sure that this is going to work, and then I'll put this together and we'll bring it back as we set it back on the motor. See you soon. Well, got the head put back together somewhat. Got a new head gasket here. Instructions say put number side out, so we're going to do that real quick. I already cleaned the surfaces of this. Make sure there's no oils or gross stuff on that. All right. Head. So all that's nice and clean. Beautiful. All right. Ooh, shiny. Reinstalled the exhaust bolts on there. Those are all in. Let's see. We got this goes this way, right? Okay. Line up. There it is. And there's that. Right on there. No locating pins, but it's in. Okay. So next we got comes with all new hardware. Use it if you have it. And sometimes it's kind of cheap, but this is looks like it's an OEM set. So I read that some of the hardware that comes with some of these kits isn't the best. Doesn't torque well. It has burrs on it or whatever. This looks pretty good. Feels right. But I got the old ones, so if we have to, we can reuse them. Don't like to, because once you torque nuts like that too many times, I don't know how many times this thing's been apart. All right, you don't need to watch this. I'm gonna go ahead and torque that down. It takes 2 steps, 2 different settings on your torque. Once all the way around, there's a pattern. I got it here, and then the final sequence, and then I'll bring it back. That's boring. You can look this up on another video. All right, I took some shortcuts. Well, they didn't take shortcuts. I just didn't video at all. Put some light on this here, maybe a better light. Put it all back together. I know that's boring. There's a zillion videos on that, so you can see that. That was a pain in the ass, man. So put everything back together. Haven't cranked it yet. Want to know, is it going to clatter? Is it going to get stuck? What's going to happen? So you're in it with me. So far, nothing's burning. That sounds pretty good. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of moisture coming out of this cylinder because I had water all in it from pressure washing it. That sounds good. All right, let's put the let's check the compression, because remember last time that side was 150, this side was like 28. So let's see if we got anywhere with this. Do we waste our time or what? So plugs are out on both sides. Sounds good. This is a cheap one. I need to get a good one. This thing doesn't seem to always want to thread right. Never really tight. I don't know. Okay, ready? So there's that. All right, let's go. Turn it. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. That's 120, and I don't have. Let's open this choke open. Let's get some air down there. Try that again. 130. I'm calling that good. No sense taking the other side apart, but we can check it just to see. This side hasn't set yet. You know, the rings and stuff have to. I mean, the valves have not worked yet with heat, so maybe that'll get better with age. I don't know. Here's hoping, right? So far, I'm really good. That's about 130, and as it runs, it might get better. Let's try this side. Ready? Can you see me? I'm not blocking anything. I don't believe that. That says about 160. Anyway, I'm going with that. So let me. I think the next step is to fire this thing up. Right? I don't know if it has spark, so we can test for that, or we can just fill it up with fuel and go for broke. Let's check spark. Let me hook some stuff up for that. All right, so this is the side we just fixed. It's got good compression. We'll check for spark on that. Look right here. Turn on my light so maybe it'll help us. Whoa! I wasn't expecting that. I cleaned that carburetor out, but there's still a hair in there. I didn't put the exhaust on yet either. All right, let's check the other side. All right, it's probably gonna fart again. I don't have the exhaust on. I don't want to do it too long. Look right here. That scares me every time. I wasn't expecting it, but I was expecting it. All right, let's get that exhaust put back on, and let's go from there. All right, moment of truth. Got gas in it. Got a choke. No idea if it's gonna run. It's gonna blast off. Go to space. I don't know. I'm not sure. The throttle. There's a throttle button on this right here, up and down. And I can't hear it do anything, so I'm hoping it starts off at idle, but this will work once it's running. Let's see. Contact. Guess it didn't like, I must have left the key on while I was parting around. Maybe go get a jump. Damn it. Anticlimactic. All right, let's try this again. I had a loose positive cable on the other side. So on the battery, so the battery's good. Let's try again. Ready? Got it on choke. Think. Choke. I was not expecting that. Okay. She's a blower. All right. Remote does work. Okay. Throttle was up and down. I barely got it above fast idle. we got to work on that. Okay. Smoking like hell. Oil everywhere because I had oil spilled all over it when I did oil change and took the oil filter off again to put something back on the shroud. Anyway, it's a mess. So what we're going to do now is put that thing back there. I got these, which project moving around. I got these new slides, and let's put this over here. We don't need that for now. Turn that off. So these things go here. And what they do is there's a slot. You can see that there. So this sits like this and holds that edge on that thing down. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, right there. So let's put that on and let's see what happens with it. I already changed out one of these slides. The other one's here. It goes here. It's got a, I don't know if you can see this or not from in the camera range, but there's a ridge here that sits down on this edge right here. That's basically its bearing. And this belt has to go on here. So probably a two-man project. Let's see, get that over there. And the belt slides in here somehow. The centerpiece, here it goes. In there, like that. Get. All right. And this, does that go like that? Take this off first. I don't break anything. You know, this is exciting. I'm looking at my ass. Stop looking at my ass. There. Okay. That's supposed to rotate. It's hooked in there. Wow, that's tight. That should do that. But with this, turning it. So right now it's super tight. Oh, crap. Okay. This piece goes. I marked it. Did I mark it right? Let's find out. All right, when you throw a hand over here. Okay. And the nut on the back, of course, is now want to be stupid. Okay, it's doing that. That's all on the track. Let's see. Can you see what I'm doing? I don't know. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just putting these nuts on that are like these. You can't see them anymore. But they hold this slide on. Make those if these things bind or not. Just gonna send them up. They got spring washers on them, so I'm counting on that. Using the wrong ones. All right, this one's longer than that one because there's a ridge here. Let me, I'll do that off camera and bring it back when it's put together. Let's check it out. I got this on. Everything's on. That's really tight, but that's on. So let's see. I turn key on. Ooh. Key's on. You see that? Let's see. Up and down. Down. Up. Smooth. I don't hear any clunky, grindy stuff. Let's see if it goes all the way around. I think it's supposed to do a 360. I'm not sure if that motor over there has got a stop in it somewhere, or does it just go all the way around? Assuming it's level on a trailer, that'll clear the ground, or on a trailer hitch. Look at that. Let go. Goes the other way. Button stuck. Okay. Gotta play with that a little bit. Let's see. This thing hitting hot? No. Not hot. All right, so you know what that means. Blower part's working, got gas in it, it's not leaking. There's oil on the ground from when I was messing around with it. We know it runs, and we know it'll haul ass across the garage. So let's do something really fun with this, and let's hook it up and see what it does when it's attached to something like it's supposed to be. Give me a few minutes. Contact. Well, I can't complain. Got it working. Had some fun with it. Snorkel's still staying on. Doesn't look like it's leaking any oil anywhere. Looks pretty good. Check the oil. Oil's still good. Think we got a runner. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while we're playing and wrenching and screwing stuff up. Till next time, peace.